Thank you. I will go to Mr. McLean now for 5 minutes.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, colleagues, witnesses. Thank you for everything you presented to us here today. My first question is going to go to Ms. Mitchell as well. Ms. Mitchell, thank you very much for your advocacy for animals and the fact that we should do everything we can so that they're not suffering in the testing that we do for our own needs. But I did have a question for you on the Section 6 of CEPA changes, because the way it's worded is CEPA addresses living organisms, where a living organism is defined as a substance that is an animate product of biotechnology, and then it gives it the minister the authority to examine whether any new animate product of biotechnology is necessary or not. Is it, in your opinion, the minister's purview, and obviously with his officials, to see whether a product, determine whether a product is necessary or not, or is that something that's is naturally evolving as we go through this? And I'd really like your input on it, because it is a gap I think we have so far. And any suggestion you might have about how to regulate that more appropriately would also be appreciated.
Yes, thank you for the question. So what I would say about that is that, when we talk about genetically modified organisms, and of course, my interest is in genetically modified animals in particular, it raises a number of issues, some of which are ethical, some of which are environmental, some of which are human health, some of which have to do with animals. And so I think that, the question that you've raised really crosses all of those boundaries. And so certainly I think that there is room in CEPA for the minister to take a more comprehensive approach to evaluating these products. We haven't specifically advocated for, one approach or another, although I understand that the Senate did pass the amendment that you spoke to. What I would say about Part 6, though, is that, for all of these reasons, I think that most stakeholders agree we do need comprehensive review of that part. And I understand that, we're not doing it right now, which is disappointing, and it's also challenging because we have these specific amendments the Senate put forward, and the question is, do we keep those in now or do we hold off on in terms of a broader review? But I do think that for the most part, the Senate's amendments do start to move us in the right direction, and as mentioned in my brief, we additionally would like to see some regulation making authority for animals.
Thank you very much, Ms. Would you be able to take it upon yourself to actually provide us with some language post your testimony here about how that legislation might be better worded to protect against what we're looking for? Would that be something you could take on?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I would say, I was involved in the genetically modified salmon litigation, so I have a lot of views on that topic. I'm very happy to do that.
Very much. My next question is for Mr. LaRue. Mr. LaRue, one of the issues in here, of course, is the issue along confidential business information. We've had input from other actors that are being affected by this. And that balance that we're going to have as far as what confidential business information should be provided to the government and the government to provide it to all of the parties at this point in time, that may lead to, of course, industry, businesses leaving this jurisdiction for more opportunities in other jurisdictions. Can you tell us how you see that sharing of confidential information blanket would affect your operations here in Canada?
Well, it affects us a lot because it's already happening. 50% of our products now sold in Canada are shipped to Canada over the border. Manufacturing has been leaving Canada, right? So their products are being shipped here. 20 years ago, there was 30%. Now it's 50, and it could be even higher. Some manufacturers don't have facilities in Canada. They're just putting on a truck and shipping it to Canada from plants in the United States. That's happening across the board. Consolidation is doing that. So this is going to make that even tougher because most of their products are coming from companies based in the United States. So they're giving their information to Canadian authorities.
But when those chemicals come into Canada, they're still regulated.
They're still regulated, 100% regulated.
Yeah, but they're regulated to the same standard.
Right. And you're not going to have all the information, new information, new chemistries, and new innovation that we would have here in Canada. We would have to import that or buy it in higher priced products.
And would we be subject to the regulations and the oversight that would happen in those other jurisdictions at that point?
Yes.
And those jurisdictions have so far, the United States, for example, much softer oversight mechanisms than are in CEPA or even in these ones. So,
well, you don't want to put a sign up at the border saying, saying, no innovation in Canada. That impacts.
No,
our
it's not the
trade.
no innovation. It's the whole issue about where do you do business, because effectively it's the same consumer at the end of the day.
Consumer.
We'll have to stop there. Yeah, we'll go